always, that my bra strap is always showing on the side.
So like you had an accident. Now you're a superhero, except you just have one strong arm.
Have you seen that dude?
No.
There's a dude that does arm wrestling. And he looks like fucking Popeye.
Yeah.
Just, one giant arm. And it's like, it's not cool.
I went to a beer festival once and they had arm wrestling. It's a really bad idea because guys people are macho and stupid enough already at a beer festival. And then it got really awkward because this one guy got really upset that he lost because he thought he was going to win for sure. But there was like a special needs person there who he ran the table. Like he won the competition.
I'm riding him all the way out. Taking bets all day. Let's go.
For sure. Anyway, I'm recording and streaming. So.
Okay, sweet. No, I figured as much. You were talking more. No, I would totally bet on that.
So we need like a theme song.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. God, Hannibal Buress does it right, where they just make it up on the spot.
Don't ask me to do that.
No, I would just make noise.
Yeah.
That would just be it. Yeah.
I can't go full Dan Harmon.
I don't know him. I know of him. I don't know what he does.
He freestyle raps a lot on his podcast.
Didn't see that coming. I thought it would be the other way around. Hannibal does the freestyle rap. What's the guy's name? Dan Harmon would do the freestyle music.
Oh, no.
No, okay.
It's fairly entertaining, though.
I would hope so.
So this is Jesse and Fro, Don't Shut Up.
Don't Shut Up.
This is technically episode 3, but I think we should just call it episode 1. Because
Those are scrimmages.
Yes. Those are pre-season games that don't count towards our record.
We're not getting home court advantage at the end of the season.
So, basically we're just going to talk about whatever the hell we feel like talking about.
Yeah.
And be opinionated. And I would say, like, not politically correct, but I don't think we're actually too bad.
No, we're not, like, cutting edge or trying to
get...
Yeah, no. Yeah. I would just look at you weird if you got that way.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I've seen the look. I know. I know when I've gotten there. I was supposed to have my studio built by now, but I don't. I learned that flat profile Cat 6 cables are not designed for cutting and readjusting lengths.
No, make your own. Yeah.
So I have. I wasted 50 feet of Ethernet cable yesterday, and
you should send it back.
Yeah, right. But I have more coming in the mail, so hopefully we'll be in the proper studio by next time, whenever that is. The first note that I have from you is net neutrality, which is a pretty big topic.
Well, the reason I put it down is on my Facebook, I try not to block anybody. if I know you, I'll humor your opinion and see it. If I don't like it, I'll just scroll by. But I have yet to see the one person that's like, you know what? Get rid of it. Go for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I haven't, but all I have seen 100% is people like, sign this petition, call your congressperson, all this stuff, your representative. I have not seen a single person that says the opposite. Right. And that's weird. Because whether it be legalizing weed or gay marriage or any other topic out there, period, you always hear the other side somewhere, whether it be in comments or something online. I haven't. So to me, the only thing that shows is this has to be a corporate thing. But even Facebook, Netflix, other companies that are giant on the internet have said they're with the people. They're like, hey, if it wasn't for these laws that are already in place, we would not be who we are. And be able to adjust and do those things and they want other people to be able to have that opportunity. And that's one that's very rare. Because if there were pharmaceutical companies, they'd be like, go away. Or other different kind of non-tech companies, you would see them go after their more cutthroat. And it seems like the newer companies that are tech-centric are more for other people to have the same opportunity they had. And so the same playing field. And it's just, I only see one guy representing it, and it's...
That's your friend.
Yeah, homeboy.
I'll pull up the picture.
Oh, please, thank you. The next one over.
There you are.
Yeah. But he is the face of the opposition. And
what a face.
And you hear who he used to work for. I think it was Verizon.
Yeah, one of the telecom.
And you like, it's so apparent. It's like, it's rare that lobbying and getting someone from the industry to go through and push something through is so obvious. Because there is, I have yet to see the opposition outside of him.
Yeah, yeah. And it does seem like it's really just promoting corporate interests, but sort of like you said, just like one industry's interest too. It's just like the telecoms. It's
Yes.
not even like Google or even, I mean, you could consider Netflix like a pretty big.
Yeah, well, that's what I was surprised they put out. I think they put out a statement on Facebook and like other people that use, or companies that use this, that are saying, getting rid of this, it potentially can cut out young companies.
Right.
That need to have the same paths as these larger corporations.
Yeah.
Because once you start making it so that only the larger ones are available, well, there are no opportunities.
I feel the same way about this type of innovation, like tech innovation, as I feel about education. Like, it's almost impossible to do it wrong. Like, it's almost, it can be done wrong, and it can be, like, done better. Speaking of, like, education, like, it's not always the best idea to like for me, example, going and like getting a history degree wasn't necessarily the best direction, but it was still good even if I didn't optimize it fully. And I feel like innovation, like as a nation, I don't think we can afford to stifle innovation.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the whole point of it all.
Right.
Is, and I understand some of the concepts of getting rid of those laws is to allow free market to reign supreme.
But
yes and no.
You can't have a free market when your options are so limited.
Yeah.
Because you have CenturyLink and you have Comcast, which are your only two cable internet providers out here. Period.
There's one more. Quest. Is it? Is it? I think that used to be. It used to be something else, and they changed. But there's three.
Still,
but I mean, even
it's
then,
so easy for them to. I know it's technically illegal, but they got lawyers like to create a cartel.
Yes.
I can hear the fan. I'm gonna turn it off.
I was like, I hear a helicopter.
But like, I don't trust them to not price fix and.
Yeah, they have shown that some countries have already done this, and the way their billing comes out, it gets really interesting. Where you pay $10 a month for access to the website Facebook, or
yeah, like Portugal, I guess.
Yeah, I think
it's disgusting. It's like you have to pay extra monthly to get access to certain
individual websites.
It's gross. And I don't understand how that wouldn't just push people into like the dark web and like.
Oh yeah, no. You just hide your address and you're in the dark and
which just makes it even more difficult to monitor or do anything.
What did they say? Like it's the internet's like an iceberg, and so what the most people think of the internet is very minimal, and so much of it is dark and a lot of access to some interesting things.
Yeah, gross stuff for sure. I've never done like the Onion, the Tor.
Yeah, I haven't actually dabbled in it. I've just read articles about it and watched a couple documentaries.
I'm fascinated by it, but it's like not a world that I really care.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, those rabbit holes you just, you get down around a corner and now you can't look back. And
right. And there's all sorts of crazy stuff. People who like,
if
you have your operating system like on a flash drive, so like you.
And then when in doubt, flush it.
Crazy stuff, man. But
micro SD.
Yeah, right. that's beyond my.
No, I think it's one of those things. Yeah, it gets too crazy. Like right now, people already are anonymous for a lot of things online, and then you push it to that direction, and everyone's anonymous.
As for right. Yeah, it's already a pretty toxic place. Like, do we need more levels of anonymity? And
I like when I go into like some of the stupid like video game web pages I go to, and they'll put my name up there. Yeah, I'm fine. I can stand behind my opinion because I'm not a jackass. Well, not that kind of jackass. Most of what I'll say, what I'll say online, I would say in person.
Yeah.
Because it's my opinion, not just attacking anybody. But yeah, if you take all of that away and force people to go under and hide to just do very mundane web browsing and stuff,
right?
It seems
The narratives right now are already terrible enough. And, like, the lack of common decency.
Speaking of, I was gonna jump down.
Oh yeah. Real quick, before we go there, I have heard some people, like on the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe, they took like a deep dive into net neutrality and sort of played devil's advocate, saying that like repealing the protections of net neutrality, there's an argument to be made that the rules that were put in place weren't the correct rules, and you could make an argument that you need to take those rules away and put in another set of rules.
Well, then present that.
Yeah, right. But you don't strip the rules away first.
You don't just. I mean, if you need another bucket, if the one bucket's overflowing and you need another one, you don't just take it and then go find it.
Yeah.
Bring the second one up and just or present it to the people saying, version 1 needs to go away. Here's what we have presented for version 2. Right. Or something else, but that's not how it looks. That's the first which makes sense, because that's the evolution of all these rules and laws and things like that, whether we need them or don't. But you got to know where you're heading. And okay, if this goes away, what comes up next?
It's pretty insane. To me, what's insane about it is that an unelected body like the FCC can make such a huge decisions impacting pretty much every American. I mean, at this point, like, the internet is a tool, and it's in almost every American house, and it's just going to get more and more that way. And so there's this federal board that's not elected by the people that makes those decisions, and then if the states, and then, like, the federal government, which, I'm sorry, Republicans, I'm going to call you out on this, you claim to be the states' rights party until the states decide to say, no, we're going to keep
it, and they don't like that.
And they're like, no, you can't. Like, the states can't make that decision. So you can't have it both ways.
We're seeing that on some other topics too coming.
Right. Yeah, right. So
yeah, it's I don't know. I don't see the if version 2 is needed, then it needs to be presented.
Right. It seems like a cash grab, and the prices are only ever going to go up, and the fast lanes, the cost of your so-called fast lane, is just going to keep going up and up, and you're going to pay more and more money.
I did hear something local about almost like a local run cable company, and I need to look it up, but I saw something that wasn't a petition, but it was basically asking for people that would support this public run infrastructure kind of thing, so that if this were to happen, this is your other option that would come up.
Right.
But it was like a local based.
I don't know, like.
But I mean, running local wires across all. Good luck with that.
So expensive.
The only thing I could see is if you do what's the cheap Metro PCS or what was it USPS or FedEx? One of them was renting out space and the other one's jets. That's how they were.
Right.
And that's how they were. But Metro PCS uses like the older bands of other companies'
Gotcha.
Cell phone signals, so that's why it's cheaper. That's why it's $10 unlimited for whatever. But you're always a generation behind.
Yeah, and there's like Ting that does that. Like Ting uses Sprint. Yeah, that makes sense. There's also like in Cuba, they have like a secret internet in Cuba.
But there's like 15 houses, man.
That's the thing, because it's just like a local area network that's wired like house to house.
Well, I was going to say, that goes into like, you see all these examples of how all these other countries do things like pay their teachers better, healthcare systems. You're also not dealing with a country that's bigger than multiple countries together with as many people and as much space. So that the concepts are great on small scale. They don't scale very well.
Yeah.
But and in that situation, Cuba's kind of small. In comparison to.
I'm not saying that's a great idea.
No, but okay, but it is an idea.
It does seem like the anarchist cookbook type of people should be like already be trying to get this. Like,
see some dude in an orange vest, like, hey, I'm here to wire your internet. Like, what?
Just get like the local municipality punk kids to like start scrapping together a black market internet. It
probably already exists.
Probably.
But we're not on the dark web, man.
It's like geocaching. It's like, I know it's out there. I know people do it.
Yeah, I've only done it a couple times.
Oh, you've geocached?
I have.
Really?
an ex-wife's sister was really big into it. And every time she would visit, we would go. I know of a couple places.
So you basically just hide stuff and then leave coordinates and someone else gets it?
Yeah, there's web pages for it. You make like no, I think it's dope. Like if you're ever bored and you want to go outside, I have a problem just exploring or doing things without a goal in mind. And just in general, I have a really hard time with that. So having geocache, you set up your profile, you look on these pages, they tell you coordinates and like some basic clues. And then you go out. You use, I mean, at the time I was doing it.
And they don't tell you what's in there.
No. Well, no, usually it's like a grab bag. It's almost like the rejects of the quarters tickets, toys and shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, look, there's a top. There's weird little things. Because usually what you do is you bring something, you take something. And there's like a logbook. You write in it, and then people know.
Is it in like a thermos cooler?
Depends on what it is. I've seen it in like ammunition boxes, like under a log. I've seen them in Tupperware containers. One of the weirdest places in Maryland that I ever went was because of that. And we're right on the edge of a hunting ground, and all you see are just like shotgun shells everywhere.
That's creepy.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know whose property this is. Like, is this public, private? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of. I have yet to see that many gun shells anywhere, and I'm like, we found the box, we found the stuff, we left. But you take something, like you take a minifig.
It was a finger in there, but...
Yeah, no. I did find one that had a thumb drive, and you were supposed to type your story. No, but it had like a notebook thing. People say who they are, what little story, then they put it in another one, and then someone puts it in. And it was just a notepad file. That was all that was on it. But I think it's kind of a fun thing. I have also heard of. Have you heard of the thumb drives that you concrete into things? So you take like.
So it's just stuck in there permanently? Like
and you just
sticking out, you take your laptop or whatever.
That is a thing. And you just plug it in and you can I think that would be kind of cool. Like put like your book that you wrote. You know, if you can find it.
Yeah.
But
I dig it.
I for one like scavenger hunts. I've done a few. But that's where that goes. But yeah, the dark web punk-based IP.
This is what happens, man. You repeal net neutrality, and all of a sudden everyone's doing scavenger hunts. Like, that is a step back for progress.
I love this idea where I need to go get an email. I'm going to go and do a geocache.
Yeah, my boss geocached for my work emails.
Yeah.
So I gotta go to the park with a shovel.
I have yet to see one buried, but it has taken me to some.
I thought you were supposed to bury them.
No, not always. It depends. Like sometimes you have it where like it's a log. On the back side of the log is the ammunition case. So on the path, nobody will see it. But if you know the coordinates, you're like under log on right hand side, and you're like looking around.
I think you should get into metal detecting.
I don't want to do that, but you guys. Okay, the thing up here. Heads up, we're based in Washington State. It's awfully cold and wet most of the year.
Where are you talking about?
Where I'm from is Florida.
It's hot and wet.
Hot and wet most of the time. But you have so many tourists on the beach. You're constantly losing stuff. So you have more. The odds are that you will find something rather than here where people. True. I mean, what are you going to find? What? Gooey duck? I mean,
it's like a metallic gooey duck.
Yeah, I'm like, you're really not going to find it.
Oh, you know, someone's coffee cup.
No, it's going to be their pressurized metal growler.
Yeah, yeah, hydro flask.
Yeah. I've heard that word for the first time yesterday.
Oh, really? I got a hydro flask. Of course you do. They're cool. Insulated thermos. Anyway, yeah. What else? Someone's hipster gauge that fell out.
You shut up.
Yours aren't even like gauges.
Zeros.
Gauge, I guess. Whatever.
Put a pencil in there. Yeah.
There you go. So that's net neutrality.
Yeah. Still no solutions from us except for punk-based IP services.
Yeah, I think that's a good solution. I like this. And eventually,
like Punk's presents,
like the Bremerton one would get big enough, it would like feed into the Seattle one, and then like the Portland. It'd be like
you know about Pirate Punks? Oh god. Now I got to school you on something.
Okay.
No, it's a local punk group like punk music based group that they're known for DIY stuff. So they put on their own shows. I don't know if they're still as big as they were, but 7 years ago.
In Bremerton?
Yeah. Oh. And you'll see it like on the back of it. Like they have jackets and they'll say like Pirate Punks and it'll say chapter 132 or whatever. Gotcha. Like they're almost like a union. But now it just kind of goes into your...
They're like a union, but if they ever went on strike, no one would notice.
Someone's like, wow, it's a lot quieter outside.
Pirate Punks. Yeah, Pirate Punk Internet.
It's gonna smell.
You log on. Patchouli. Oh, God.
It's not hippies.
There's a fine line between hippies and punks.
Is there?
Yes, at least up in Bellingham. Because they did similar stuff like that in Bellingham. They like rigged up a bike, like a stationary bike that you would ride it and it would power like the show. So someone had to be like constantly.
I like this song.
Yeah.
It's like a punk-based, what is it called? The Apollo. So you get Sandman come out there and like shuffle them off, but instead you just cut the power. You're like, I'm gonna go get a beer.
Yeah, because when I think of Bellingham and punk music, I think of the Apollo.
The Apollo Theater.
I forgot to note. Oh, we do have a recording time. Oh man, we're going long. All right, we should move on.
Oh yeah,
what do you want to talk about next?
Oh yeah, did you watch Star Wars?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard so much about it. Like I don't know what to expect because I've heard it's good and I've heard it's bad. So I'm gonna go in with really low expectations.
I don't think it's great or bad. It just it's a movie, and it pushes the floor. There are large parts of this movie that could completely be cut out, and it'd be the same movie.
Oh, that's not good. That's how I felt about The Force Awakens. Like it wasn't good. It wasn't terrible. It was an action-y Star Wars movie. I
think it was meant to just provide confidence in Star Wars fans based on the lack of confidence that they had in 1, 2, and 3. But the new one, I'm tired of porgs.
Already?
Because they're not that big of a... They're not that... No one cares. I mean, we have a friend that cares.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. I've seen a lot of porg love on the internet.
They're not even Ewoks. They don't even fight. They're just there. I mean, essentially they are food at one point. And I just don't see the love. I think they're cute. That's great. But in that universe, they don't do anything.
Is this like an Ewok thing? Okay, speaking of Ewoks, I heard an urban legend. Have you heard this?
Okay.
I heard that they were supposed to be Wookiees, and it was supposed to be the Wookiee planet, but then they went to go find a bunch of tall actors, and like tall actors were too expensive.
I heard it was a budget issue.
Maybe
I thought
it was suits. They're like, we can make 3 Ewok suits for 1 Chewbacca suit.
1 Wookiee. So that's the conversion.
And because they're not even called Ewoks in the movie.
They don't call them at all.
Yeah, they're just in the... And then it's like Ewok is Wookiee backwards. It's just the weirdest thing to cheat.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I did not know this, so thank you. Wow, okay.
But it's the weirdest thing to cheap out on. And at the very end of producing 3 movies, like...
They still...
I've heard, like, when James Cameron was making Aliens, they're like, we're only giving you 9 alien suits. Mm-hmm. Even though it's supposed to be, like, dozens of aliens.
They're everywhere. Well, I mean, and the dark and that, they all look the same.
How expensive can this be compared to, like... getting Harrison Ford on the cast and like all the models and the CGI.
After 1, Harrison Ford's a star. So now your budget crazy.
And it's like, and then it's like, no, I'm drawing the line at the Wookiees. Like, no, make them small, call them Ewoks.
Yeah, I think that's the same. But now they have to have cute things. So you have Ewoks. You have the 1, 2, 3 trilogy. I mean, I wouldn't say the Gungans were cute. Was there something?
Was there something?
I don't think there was anything adorable.
But I guess they were like banking on the Gungans being like cuter than they turned out.
I played the episode 1 pinball machine the other day, and I was impressed that
I hate that
when
machine.
You get the bonus or the random, it's Jar Jar, and he's like, and he licks whatever thing you ring. Oh my god! I mean, I'm not against Jar Jar that bad, but that was ridiculous.
But yeah, and then the other thing about the Ewoks is like the Ewoks were made to be like to appeal or to be more appealing as toys, right? The Ewok village.
I had an Ewok. I had a little one.
Yeah.
I got in trouble because I gave him a shampooed his hair.
So were the Porgs like? Was this supposed to be just like toy bait? Like
I heard. But the rumor I heard about them is there were penguins or some birds that wouldn't leave.
They had to like CGI.
Yeah, CGI to get them out of the way.
Which is interesting.
No, I think that's interesting. But I think they're the baby Groot. They're there to be adorable.
Do you think? Know? Okay, so
But they don't push the plot at all. Zero.
I'll tell you. I guess by next time I'll probably watch the movie. But I've heard there's a lot of like jokes that fall flat in the new Star Wars movie, like the humor in Force Awakens took me out of it because it didn't feel very Star Warsy. I don't remember a lot of like tonally like joking around.
Some dude in the corner.
Yeah, that's what it felt like a lot.
He's that one Jedi.
And there were a couple, but like Harrison Ford can deliver a bad joke and sort of sell it, but he's sort of like
I know.
Yeah, exactly. He's sort of a generational talent with being able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's fair to expect people to be able to deliver humor the way that he does.
I mean, he's ornery by design.
And I've heard people speculating that like they're trying to like Guardians of the Galaxy-ify Star Wars.
It's possible,
but I haven't seen either.
But Jesus, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 hilarious, both of them. But they feel Guardians 1, 2, and Thor Ragnarok. Those are some of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
I gotta see Thor Ragnarok.
And they all... Well, don't put that up.
Oh.
I said 1, 2, and 3. I was like, yeah, that's a bad thing.
Gotcha.
No, those are some of the most naturally funny movies that have action in them, and it fits.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I don't think that Star Wars movie was funny per se. Just like the humor is not. There's one moment that I was like that. I actually went, and someone that I was with that wasn't actually. We went as a group, but we had to split separately because of how packed it was. They actually said, "I heard you laughing" when that came up, and there's only a few moments that are like that, and I don't see them.
Yeah. Unless
you get the guy that directed Thor Ragnarok. I forgot the New Zealand guy.
I don't know.
Oh, crap. He's hilarious. He did what Happens in the Dark or something like that. Damn it. Anyhow, now with less information, unless you get someone that actually does that really well, I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Like J.J. Abrams is supposed to direct the next one, so that would be 9.
They gotta wrap this story up.
Well, so what I heard
is I just like when I think of Return of the Jedi. Tonally, I don't think funny. I think
this one is dark. It has this dark moment. So like, I would say there's a significant amount of death. Actually, you know what? No, thinking about there's a lot of death. Some of it's unnecessary. There's some weird things like, why didn't you have that idea 5 minutes ago? But. Yeah, they have to wrap it up. This is supposed to be the next one will be the Skywalker, whatever 9 movies in a row is. But they gave the guy that did this, Ryan, whatever the guy's name, directed this one. Excuse me, the go-ahead to make his own trilogy outside of the Skywalker family.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
So
that's
the next
what I
one
want.
is
Like explore some other stuff, and that's why.
How does everything happen? Attached to this one family.
Seriously, like if I was just a normal citizen, like in the Star Wars universe, I'd be like, "Fuck these Skywalkers, man! They're always screwing everything up all the time.
All the time, everything. You know, we had a good thing going, man. Even when it's just quiet.
Yeah, it was fine. Even the Emperor was. Yeah. The Emperor's one mistake was hooking up with that Skywalker kid.
But the Emperor, I'm going to see how big is the Empire. You know, there's probably parts of it where it doesn't apply.
Yeah, right.
You know, you're like, yeah. And so,
Stormtroopers bring a lot of good business in here. They come in, they spend their paychecks, they're well behaved. Exactly. They all look the same.
They shoot for shit.
They're terrible at darts.
Dart tournament takes 3 weeks.
Destroyed the whole wall.
But yeah, I'm glad they're going to explore other things.
Yeah, and that's why I liked Rogue One, was because
actually I think it's the best Star Wars movie.
The best of all of them?
I think out of all the ones, because it's not a Skywalker movie.
Yeah.
There's one Skywalker in the entire movie.
And that's what was kind of nice about, Empire, was like, Luke kind of went and fucked off for half the movie and like picked up rocks.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
Going to the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that one, but I think Rogue One is my favorite just because it does, one, it has the Sith act the way I want them to act, which is all powerful. When Vader goes into that hallway, he's only there for 30 seconds, but that's what I want to see from a Sith.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of them just turning people into laundry. I'm tired of not being able to sword fight. You know, there's 1 and 1, all that nonsense.
Yeah, no, that was the most badass Vader moment.
Yeah, the only other Sith moment that I think is better than that is in Force Awakens when Kylo Ren stops the laser beam.
Mm.
And I was like, in the movie, I remember saying, yes, this is what I want. I want to see the Force where you shot a laser beam at me, and I stopped it. And as long as he was there, it was just sitting there, and then when he goes back to the ship, it's like,
yeah.
That's what I want.
It's a blaster, by the way. It's
Whatever,
plasma, not light energy.
Whatever. G.I. Joes.
All right, so I'm gonna watch that. I'll watch that soon. So
please.
Yeah, I just gotta find a time when me and my wife can both see it at the same time.
Yeah, no.
Let's get this guy out of here.
God, you know your search results are gonna all end up with him. And
Oh,
you're gonna be on Amazon and you're like,
I'm already on a list.
Tooth
I actually do need tooth whitening. I drink way too much coffee.
Yeah.
Should we talk about neoliberalism?
I
That
don't know
actually
what that
sounds kind of
means.
boring. Well, I got called this. Someone called me this, and I wasn't even sure.
What did you do?
I was arguing with people on Facebook.
You know what? Considering our personalities, I think I'm a more social person than you.
Yes.
But I honestly spend very little time on Facebook. Like in the morning, just to see what's going on. Is there fires in California? Are there hurricanes in Florida? Are my friends and family okay? And then I go to work.
Yeah.
And then I get off. And then maybe once in the evening, just to see if I have messages from the different things we were doing. I really am not on there. To hear that you're getting into arguments with people, I'm like, why?
I've been on there since like 2008 or something.
Okay.
And it's just become a force of habit, but it is something
To be involved?
it's something I really need to scale back.
My joke is, it's like pick your battles, all of them.
Yeah, exactly. But basically, what I was saying, it's okay to like make fun of people at their expense. It's a scene in Borat. Basically, it was an argument over whether Borat is a dangerous movie or not. And I was saying like the butt of the joke are the people that he's
the Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the Eastern Europeans or the Europeans that he's making fun
No,
of.
it's the Americans.
Yeah.
But,
no, definitely.
Well, some other
that makes
people...
you neoliberal.
Some other people had some other ideas, and it culminated in someone calling me a neoliberal, and I was like, I don't even know what that means.
Gotta look it up.
Yeah.
If you gotta look up your insult,
yeah, right.
You didn't do it right.
But basically, it's sort of, I think it's just another way of people to call me a libertarian, which I'm not really.
I honestly...
Classical liberalism and...
When it comes to all these political labels, and okay, there are some things that need to be labeled. Mm-hmm. Some things are things you drink. But for the most part, nobody is one thing.
That's true.
So just, how about just get rid of the labels, left, right, alt-right, Republican, Democrat, neoliberals, whatever, all this stuff. And just when the topics come up, you state your claim and why this is good or not.
Take things idea by idea.
Exactly, because it doesn't work. I don't know where I stand on the Republican-Democrat side because I don't care. I know how I feel when certain topics come up, and in those situations, this is how I feel, this is how... And I think this is just...
Yeah.
If someone called me that, I might even put it on a T-shirt.
It was mostly confusing.
Yeah,
me,
no, that's what it'd be. It'd be a question mark at the end.
Yeah. But it was definitely said to me in like an insulting way. I'm like, am I supposed to be getting offended at this? So I don't know, but I'm like, I don't identify as a Democrat or a Republican. I'm somewhere in between, and I'd like to take issues issue by issue. And I think that anytime you paint yourself or someone else with a broad brush like that, you've decided not to really think critically.
That's kind of how the podcast has put me onto the series.
Serious inquiries.
I have been listening. I listen to like every fourth one.
Yeah, I don't listen to everyone.
But it's like, oh, Alex Jones. Not the Alex Jones I thought it was. But it's he and the way he talks, it's broad stroke. You are this, you're that, and this. And it's really hard for me to listen to because I'm like, that doesn't apply, even to him. You know, there's got to be a topic where he is not marching with the flag. You're like, put it down, grab the other flag for a second. And, you know, and I have a hard time standing behind any of it as a whole, even in the discussions that way. Because once you start labeling that way, it doesn't work. But I found, like I said, I try to listen to it to see what's going on in that realm, and it's just difficult with those because you get to the point of some of the other podcasts I listen to, they talk about waving flags or being part. You need to be part of a team. I mean, you have several politicians. What's the guy that he got caught, and then the election came. He ended up losing, but it was the people that were supporting him are like, I'd rather support him because he's one of us, rather than. And it's like, that's ridiculous. If something is toxic on your team, let it go. Cut off that toe. You know? Don't just hold on to it, because what happens is the entire foot dies. Then the leg dies. And then, you know, if you do not address these things and don't separate yourself, and all it is because it's part of your team, that's very narrow-minded, and honestly, it's like, not amateur, but it's childish.
It is. It's the same thing that like sports fans do, and I'm a sports fan, but it's like player du jour on my team. You know, he got a DUI, and it's like, oh, 2-game suspension just for a DUI? That's ridiculous. And then it happens on the other guy's team. It's like, get him out of the league. He should never play again. And it's like,
I mean, I've seen a lot of that. I mean, and you can't. When you deal with groups of people, none of it is all great or bad. You have to really look at the individual or the situation.
Yeah.
You know,
it's hard. It takes time. It takes critical thinking. It takes and it takes energy.
I, for one, and like when it comes to sports, I like competition. I will watch a game and I will root for everyone, honestly. But unless you're going against Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman's my favorite sports my athlete, period. And I like him. I like his personality. I like that he's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I like that. I mean, and also he took defensive basketball and turned it into a thing where a lot of
your all-time favorite athlete.
All-time favorite athlete. I have a Dennis Rodman Lakers jersey. You would see it more if it was warmer. But it's that kind of thing where I like the guy's personality, you know, and it's not the team, because if he goes to, you know, I think he was on the Dallas Mavericks for 26 teams. I didn't like the Mavericks. I liked him. You know what I mean? And hell, he was on the Spurs. I hate the Spurs. They're just too wholesome as a team usually.
Wait, is that the Utah team?
No, San Antonio. No. It's Utah Jazz. There's no Jazz in Utah.
Well, yeah.
But my point is, like the individuals.
Well, that's where because they have the Louisiana Mormons already.
Yes, they do have the Louisiana Mormons. Woo, they don't play very often because they have to horse and buggy it across the country to all the away games. Oh my God, I want to see that. That needs to be a skit somewhere. Please, someone steal that and make it an animated thing. But I like how that went from neoliberalism to Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I like what you say. It's just when you decide to slap a label on someone, you've sort of decided to stop thinking about them as a person.
Yeah, you don't think about their thoughts, because we obviously don't agree on a lot of things. But I have no issues with it. Sorry. No, I have, you know, but that doesn't mean. Honestly, that doesn't mean anything. We don't have to agree on everything. You know what I mean?
No, it would be boring if we did.
Yes, it would.
Like, that's the thing about these echo chambers that really confuse me. It's like, when the people really try and drum in their opinions onto everyone so hard that everyone needs to fall in line, it's like, where is the interesting...
Well, when that happens, when everyone has to, it gets a little dark.
Yeah, it's not good. And that's one of the, you know... because it's been obviously it's been a weird couple of years to be an American, because it does seem like the political season. I feel like political season used to be a thing that came around every 4 years, now it's just nonstop all the time. Well, it's like if their football season never ended.
Football.
Yeah. We're on break.
We are. I'm glad.
Yeah, but it's like we need both. We need both sides.
Well, that and time off.
And time off. We need time. And yeah, seriously.
Well, I was hearing something that was saying it's very exhausting being an informed American citizen currently because of all this stuff. Where you have, I mean, us in Washington had to understand what was going on where that Roy guy was. Yeah. Just to know that that's a part of the American government. Yeah. You know, and that kind of thing. And it's like, okay, how do you deal with our own, like, we have our local politicians changing in and out. We just had an election on that. How do you keep track of that? And this other state's situation and our federal government and all these things, it's exhausting to stay informed enough to be a good citizen, because an informed citizen is a good citizen, right? But it's just, it's tiring. It is. I pick and choose my things,
and you hear about these countries like in the UK, they have like a 6-week campaign time frame.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. How great does that? That sounds perfect.
Yeah, I've heard of that, and I've also heard of the 1 week to vote, and I like that idea too.
How's that work?
So when it comes time to vote, say for president, you have a week to do it. So it's not one day. So you have the entire week. So if you have time off, there are times where people can't take time off to go vote because of the days. Or they don't really go into. I haven't seen a large campaign to show that you can absentee ballot things and things like that, where that would make up the difference, but people don't know about it.
Yeah, the mail-in voting system works really well in Washington.
But you got to know about it. You know, I didn't know about
that. But it's mandatory now.
What, to vote?
To vote? No, by mail though.
Okay, no.
There are no polls anymore.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
So the only way to vote is by mail.
But my point was that if people didn't know that, it's like I came here from other state that they have polls.
Right.
Chads.
This is all your fault.
Yes. But if you don't know, it doesn't help. So my point is it's just you end up not participating and just dealing with what happens.
And I wanted to do the caucus. I hadn't gone to a caucus since 2004, and I actually wanted to for 2016, but couldn't because the caucus was only open, like, you could only walk through the doors for, like, this half-hour time period, and I was at work.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I mean by that.
It was half an hour. You had to be there during that half hour.
And now, what is it during normal business hours?
Yeah, it was at, like, 2:30 p.m. It's people have stuff to do.
Yeah, no, exactly. So if you don't have these expanded opportunities to do these things, you can almost schedule those in a way that only the people that you want to be involved do it. So retired people, things like that who have,
people too racist to hold down a job.
Or people too racist to hold down a job. That's not what I was saying. But people that have more free time, that can have a more fluid schedule.
Yeah.
Or even possibly, depending on the business profession you have, where you have a more fluid schedule, you it's almost, was it gerrymandering? Is it that one where they moved they moved the districts around with these weird little roads and things.
It's like temporal.
Yeah, exactly.
Temporal. I almost made a Japanese cuisine joke. Temporal gerrymandering, not tempura gerrymandering.
No, but you end up doing that, and that obviously makes people disenfranchised because they can't. They feel like your situation where you cannot be involved.
You can't participate because it's not like I could.
I can't take that Tuesday off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
That 30 minutes in the middle of my day, or I got to go pick up my kid, or there's a million different things that people have to do.
The thing tangentially related to this that drives me the most insane is banks. Banking business hours should not be Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, because that's when people who have jobs and are making money are at work.
So I'll tell you this: I used to go to a bank in Miami, open till midnight.
That makes sense. The bank should be open when the people who spend all day making money.
I would go there to cash my check.
Are off, exactly.
Because I would get out of work at Kinko's and be like, it's 11:30. I can go cash my check over here at this bank that's open until midnight.
I used to have like this bank through this tiny credit union in Bellingham, and then I moved to Seattle, and I had to go to the 7-Eleven where they had like a kiosk.
Oh, the kiosk, yeah. You can
like
order kiosk, yeah.
my paycheck
Oh, I
into
know
that.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was.
Well, the other thing with banks is, how are you going to say that office hours are relevant when you're doing things online?
Right. Yeah.
The computers take Saturday and Sunday off?
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
When they leave the office, they unplug. Yeah.
And that's always driven me. I'm like, hold on, what? You're not going to address this till Monday? But
otherwise, we're vulnerable to hackers.
No.
Unplug the servers.
You're halfway to your transaction. No. I couldn't buy those pinball games this week. No, and that's always driving between banking hours and that. Well, my bank, they keep shutting down the branches all around the county. Bank of America. There's two. There's one in Silverdale that they closed, and the one in downtown Bremerton.
Get on the credit union like me, man. They give you free patchouli. Man, I'm on the
vouchers for the reef.
My emotional support dog is on the board of directors.
I was going to say that they give you your interest on your CD loan, or your CD and vouchers for the local pot shop or the farmer's market.
Yeah, the farmer's market. Yeah, and I get free membership to the food co-op.
The co-op, yeah.
It should actually. That would be dope.
No, that would be great. Like, hold on, I think we got something here.
Have you been to the new co-op in town?
No,
I haven't yet either. But if it's anything like any of the other co-ops I've ever been to, it's like, so you just want me to spend like twice as much?
Yeah,
twice as much for this food.
Yeah. And they're open short hours. So.
Yeah. We got Winco, dude. Winco is like the destroyer of supermarkets.
I love that place.
Me too. I was there today.
Yeah. That and SARS.
SARS Super Saver. Worst possible name.
No, that's awful.
Yeah, ironically has like the best like Asian cuisine. Yeah.
Very cultural cuisine in the county by far. The Central Market is the opposite of that.
Oh man, I haven't been to the Central Market in a long time.
I'll say this. So, when I'm drinking, I used to buy there. Bombers were $9 and change. I now have this a corner or a block away from my house for $4.99. Why? Because the Central Market, they jacked it up twice as much almost, and it's not a convenient place for someone that lives in where we live. No. And it's like, that is how ridiculous that is. But if it was at SARS, it would probably flip it.
Yeah.
I just gotta find a way to get that extra treatment there. I want to win though.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I like both of those places. I almost never go to Safeway.
I do just because it's close, but Safeway is sort of rip off.
I would say SARS and Safeway are equal distance from here, right?
No, it's Safeway on Calla. Anyway, this is very interesting.
Very local. Safeway on Calla 6. SARS is right off. Gets that way. Or Woodco, excuse me. I just like if you would like to look up what the local region and figure out what the hell we're talking about.
So I'm going to take a 2-minute break.
Sure.
I don't know what you're going to do, but you can either fill time or you can take a break. I'm just
this is great. No, I like one of my reasons for being a part of this podcast is because I get an opportunity to talk about these dumb things and laugh. I feel laughter is very important. Yeah, and I don't think you can have too much of it. I laugh loudly in movies. I've actually gone, ha! To the point, even doing it makes me laugh, like just then. No, I guess a little background. He's one of the owners of Lovecraft Brewery, and I'm a property manager for a local property management company in town. But we have friendly opposing thoughts on certain things. And we thought this would make some entertaining content. I was going to say television, but it's definitely not television. We're always looking for sponsors. Well, what was the joke the other day? MeUndies, because they sponsor all these podcasts. Not against that. Oh man. I paint, I draw, I property manage.
Oh, are you plugging?
Oh, why not? I've got 2 minutes to go. Commercial break. Designs by Fro on Facebook. You can see all my wonderful things that I do.
I'm just gonna get on Twitch real quick.
Oh, yeah, sure, why not? That's what I want, is a live audience.
I want to see if...
Is there a live audience? Who knows?
I plugged it quickly on my old podcast Facebook page, so...
We'll talk about a name for stuff.
I need a dual monitor set up so I can have the Twitch open here.
No, we should have the Switch play
Switch. My buddy made a funny joke the other day, where it's like, back in the day, if your dad told you to go get the Switch, like, you were in for a whooping.
Yeah, now I just...
now you're gonna be playing video games.
We're gonna play? You gonna play Mario Kart?
No, I was watching right now, so don't worry.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, shit, I forgot to... Can't do that. Also, forgot to change the title of the podcast. So this is not Blood Bowl 2 practice.
I like that on my Twitch stream. I'm usually playing pinball, but when I don't, it just says pinball with 3 exclamation points.
Pinball!
And then it's like me playing Stick Truth.
So are you streaming off of your TV? Off your Xbox? Oh, just through like a Twitch app?
Yeah.
On Xbox?
If I want to do video on my end, I also have the Connect.
What's your Twitch stream name?
Digga_LAF, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure to follow. Okay. Should we wrap
to the Bachelor update? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have to laugh at that note. Because that's... Oh, you're hard pressed to get further from anything I watch in the world than The Bachelor. But I would like to hear what this
So there's a new season of The Bachelor. I believe this is season 23.
Are you serious?
Franchise. Yeah, because they do like 2 a year, and they've been doing it forever. I don't think that counts The Bachelor in Paradise or Bachelor Pad. I think it's just
the offshoots that
hard. Yeah, just hard Bachelor or Bachelorette. Okay. So it's Bachelor this year. Now we have an old man. We have an old bachelor. He's 35 years old.
That's old.
And the youngest woman on the show is 22, which is a pretty significant age gap, and it's to the point where it actually makes me feel kind of gross.
The problem with generations in general is as you go along, the gap gets bigger and it's more and more okay. But if you take that gap and push it towards...
Yeah. That's a 90. That would be for a 9-year-old.
Exactly. So that becomes a problem. So you can't think about that anymore. Mm-hmm. You have to keep it in the now or in the future. Yeah. You cannot look back.
And she seems to be trying pretty hard to like ageify herself
a little bit. Stop saying YOLO.
Yeah. So she's sort of dressed like Audrey Hepburn, and she like came in with like a '69 Mustang and like trying to be like a little bit old school, right? Which is also kind of weird.
Just try too hard.
She's trying pretty hard. And this guy, he's like a washed-up wannabe race car driver. Is his career, and he
what kind of cars? NASCAR or
F1? I think.
Okay, no.
But
nothing against NASCAR.
No,
they're our biggest demographic.
But I guess he's been in racing for a while. Yeah. So it's like I think he just maybe has enough family wealth. Like, who do you know who's like 12? Like, I'm going to be a race car driver for real.
No, the only people that do that their families have been doing it.
So I'm just going to play a quick clip here off Hulu, and it's got subtitles on, so you shouldn't have to put the
sound,
the headphones on.
I was going to say.
So
is that the young one?
No. It should be the next one here. But
I like that she's telling him what she likes in a dude, so he can adjust. That's nice.
Yeah. So this is like the getting to know. I thought I had it all queued up. I hope I found it right. But
I just think that's a weird way. What I like is a guy. He's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I like a guy with blonde hair. Comes back with a wig.
I think I just screwed this up a little bit. Oh, yeah, so this is her.
The blonde one?
No,
her?
No, I don't know who she
is.
Oh,
it's the short hair one.
But this is my favorite part of the show, is the very beginning. I usually tap out near the end because I get bored when it's down to like 4 people.
Oh, at the end of the season?
Yeah, yeah. I like it when it's like a house full of So that's her.
Bickering ass people. Hold on, are they in her Mustang?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what you don't do in my Mustang. Sit on the back.
Put your dirty feet on the
No,
upholstery.
get out of here. You better...
So, what are 3 things that make you excited to be alive?
Simple. Just keep it simple.
First thing he says is excitement. And she calls him out on it, which is great. Excitement makes you excited to be alive. And,
Cute.
oh yeah, she is cute. I think she's the cutest one. And
Okay.
then the
Pizza? Hold on. I like driving fast and eating pizza. Those are my 2. Oh, you said 3. My bad.
So that was my favorite part. What are 3 things that make you excited to be alive? Excitement and pizza.
He sounds like a 22-year-old.
This is a 35-year-old man.
He seems they should switch ages.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like
Absolutely.
she should be like, this is my dad's Mustang. I hooked up.
He's almost your age.
Yeah, you know, it's that weird. Like, God, dude, that's.
So they
They gotta feed him lines. I
don't know.
I hope that's not a real person. Because if you ask, did he give a third answer?
I think he said like family or good friends or something.
So he takes. Hold on. He goes to Papa Murphy's, picks up a pizza in the minivan with all his family.
Bake, baby. Runs a red light.
Yeah, and I'm like, there.
Gets his adrenaline rush. Woo!
Everybody's
Can't wait to throw this stuff. Put
Someone's
this cowboy family signs in the oven at 425.
No, you gotta call him, tell him to preheat the oven.
Yeah. Oh, my heart is racing.
Oh, that's a boring dude.
He is super boring. And it's gross. My favorite is when it's the Bachelorette, and then when they have like the 30 bros in the house. That's when it's best because so many of them are like alpha guys.
I think they should cross it with UFC.
That would be great.
Do it together.
I just trial by combat. You and me, like right now.
Yes. I think what is it? Ultimate Fighter? No, what is it called?
Ultimate Fighter, right?
No. Is it Ultimate Fighter? I think so. Yeah. Yeah, but I think that would be dope if they did a cross promotion.
Yeah.
Nothing but a bunch of dude bros, like not dude bros, but fighters.
Yeah,
They actually fight.
No, I'd like it if they weren't fighters, because then you get like those weird fights. Like,
nobody wants to see that.
I do.
Okay.
I watch a YouTube.
All you get is the hand. Like, did you hit me? Because it didn't feel like a hit. No.
Gotta make sure your wrist is straight there, buddy.
I like this. Oh God!
But
I still can't believe you watched this.
We just threw it on, me and my wife, and it's like we're not paying attention.
I'm trying to think of it. What have I watched recently?
We mostly tune out.
I watched the first episode of Black Mirror for season 4.
I need to watch that show.
It was good.
That's the thing. I like garbage TV,
and because I watch so little TV, I don't want it to be garbage.
I don't watch that much TV.
No, but I mean, that's why I am so specific about it. And I also don't have cable.
I don't either. This is network TV, thank you.
I'm sorry. But no, because I don't, and I have to go out of my way to watch anything specific, that's why I'm very... Have you seen Bright?
No.
God, we gotta find some stuff that we can watch. Right now we're on the very... And not that it's good. I actually enjoy Will Smith as an actor, but I think
Will Smith is a good actor.
Yeah, he's better than a lot of them. He's also been doing it for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
But no, there are certain things like that I go out of my way, and I know what I want to watch months before it even comes out, and then I'll watch the specific thing.
Yeah.
But the same thing's for movies.
And when I get into something, I get into something good, I'll stick to it and consume it. You're out. You're dry.
That's fine.
That means we're almost done, huh? Oh, we're pushing an hour.
Yay!
Yeah. So.
I believe Jake Paul out of this.
Yeah, Jake Paul did something stupid.
I like that we fit in the Bachelor update.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that.
Well, I pulled it up. If it makes it to the tab.
Yeah, it's sure you're gonna talk about. Yeah, it's easy to go back to.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Not resolutions, more goals.
Yeah.
And then it's all my goals are usually, most of my goals are geared around my art and just getting it out. Last year my goal was to be in the 5 galleries, local galleries. By the end of the year, I realized about month 3 that was not going to happen.
Yeah.
I did not want to be around the people that are interested in that stuff. So then what I ended up doing is I wanted my art into 5 establishments. And currently it's in 4 by the end of last year. So I'm okay with that. And this year will just be more of that. I want to continue to do large scale stuff. Maybe not as large as the stuff that I've done for you, which is about 20 feet tall. But large scale nonetheless. And just that's where my goals not. I mean, we all need to go to the gym.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to get down to 169. I would like to be in the normal BMI range.
BMI's a bullshit though.
I know it is, but it's still
a goal.
Still a guideline or whatever. And I am overweight, so.
I mean, I'm gonna compare that with you because I'm curious. I haven't been on the scale in 2 years.
Oh, I have one here.
Yeah, this will be interesting. No, I remember
You're
when
definitely not as fat as I am.
No, I remember in high school getting fitted for my gown, like cap and gown, and they were like, "Oh, you're like 185, right?" I was like, "I'm 145," and they're like, "Really? Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. Like, I'm just kind of tall and lanky, like." But and then I'm actually dreading going on this scale now because I haven't.
I was probably like 155 in high school. I was pretty scrawny. I'm just shy of 6 foot.
So I'm 5'10" and a half.
Yeah, I'm 5'11" and a half.
Okay.
So.
Oh wow, look at you. Were you ever? I know I asked this question.
What?
I was gonna ask, were you ever able to dunk?
No, come on.
I was 13 the first time I did it. So I was just kind of curious because you're slightly taller than me, and so I figured for about the same athletic ability.
Don't make that assumption. I've never been an athlete. Eric and me and my buddy Eric are going to try and make a documentary this year. So that's about the Bremerton Pinball League.
Yes.
So,
if you want anything about the Bremerton Pinball Club,
yeah,
it's me and Oz.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah. So, sort of, hopefully, like through the lens of like a town that's coming out of recession and like how pinball has helped sort of build a community in a town where there wasn't one before. Well, no, I think it'll be really cool.
I mean, you're talking about recession-ish stuff. One of our mutual friends, actually, when I first met her, she's like, I actually budget pinball into my monthly budget. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
Like, to me, it was I didn't play as much as I do now, but I saw it as such an impulse thing that I would never think to budget quarters.
When you really get into it, you can burn some quarters.
Yeah, I'm aware. I mean, I went to the pinball museum the other day for the first time.
Oh, really? And what was that, like $20?
15 for one visit, but if you want to go in and out, it's 20.
Wait, they don't let you leave and come back in?
I mean, you can leave, but you can't come back in.
That's lame.
But $5 more. I mean, but you think about that's 40 games. That's a lot of games.
That's a lot of games.
I mean, we were there from like probably 1 to 6. I mean, I put in a lot of work into Guns N' Roses. I want that pinball machine.
I haven't been there since it was new.
No, we should go. I'd love to go.
But yeah, I'll go back. I like the International District a lot.
Yeah, there's so many stores there. We went to Pink Gorilla.
Pink Gorilla's cool.
Yeah, I think I actually bought some stuff. But anyways, pinball. That'll be a dope documentary. I'd like to see this. Or I'd like to be a part of it, actually.
Yep, and then...
I'm new. How long have you been playing?
Well, I don't know. Only like 7 years or so.
I can tell you, I don't remember playing a pinball machine longer than a year ago.
Oh, really?
Period. Since Another Castle opened. So a year and a half. Something like that. That was... And not to say I haven't played them.
Right.
I just don't. They were not significant enough of a moment in my life to remember that.
There were some good machines when I lived up in Port Townsend. There was a pinball bar that went tits up, unfortunately. But they had the Wizard of Oz machine. Have you played that?
I've heard of... you know what? No, I think I played it at PAX.
Yeah, that one's good. And they had like a Lord of the Rings, which I love Lord of the Rings.
They had that at the pinball.
But like half the pinballs were always broken down. And, yeah.
No, I thought it was interesting in the pinball museum that the rubbers on the flippers were so new that something that would normally roll off just...
Oh, nice.
And they just stick. I'm like, that's nice.
Yeah.
And there's like brakes on the ball, which is kind of cool. Me and a friend used to go to a fun machine in Orlando, And I would always be mad because I would go to play fighting games and different arcade games, and half the place was full of these giant, like, huge warehouse full of pinball machines. Like, nobody wants to play this crap. 20 years later, I'm like, man, I really wish I would have put some time on these pinball machines. But the place is no longer around.
Yeah. It's a tough way to make your bread, that's for sure.
I want Guns N' Roses pinball machine. You know what? That's my New Year's resolution. I want to try to find a way to buy that machine.
Nice. I would buy Whirlwind, I think. Whirlwind's my favorite.
It makes... because I'm a Floridian, I do not do well in the cold. And that machine has a fan on it. And so when you do well, it starts breathing on you all night, cold air. I'm like,
feel the power of the wind.
I get too cold.
Yeah, Tasha doesn't like that too. She'll play it, she's like, it's drying my eyes out. You would.
Well, that one had Twister. Twister doesn't have a fan. But it has the cool multi-ball where it spins in the middle. That's cool.
I thought you were going to say since you're from Florida, because it's like a cyclonic, and you're like have flashbacks or something.
You don't get flashbacks of just being in your house for 3 weeks. You know? It's not a thing.
All right. Well, we'll save a couple topics for next time. And so my plan is I got to upload this to YouTube, and I'm going to try and figure out how to rip the audio out of this and get it on Audacity, and then because I'd like to distribute in YouTube form and podcast form. It's not too visual. Yeah. So anyway, signing off. We don't really have a sign off.
We don't have one yet. You know what? If you know, are you off already?
No.
If you have any idea for a really dumb sign off, email us at jesseandfro @gmail.com. That's JESSE. And Fro, F-R-O, not ampersand, A-N-D. Come on, man.
I don't think you can even...
No, that's what I'm like. It's something like that. It's not working. At gmail.com.
Yeah, or emails. Topic ideas or anything.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah, it'd be great to have a feedback session.
That would be. But that's all I have to say.
Alrighty, well, until next time. Signing off.